Envy. It's so much deeper than just wanting what somebody else has. Envy is that quiet, heavy feeling inside of you when you see somebody else winning or happy or loved, someone who's confident. And instead of feeling inspired, it makes you feel small. It doesn't always show up loud. It doesn't always show up in a hateful way. Most of the time it sounds like a simple question in your head. Why not me? That's envy. It isn't just wanting their success. It's feeling like their success somehow takes away from yours. Like there's less room for you now. Like you're falling behind in a race you didn't even realize you were in. And slowly that comparison becomes a habit. And your own life stops feeling like enough. Envy is one of those things a lot of people don't fully understand. And once they do understand, they don't like to admit that they struggle with it. Because it doesn't always look like jealousy per se. Sometimes it just looks like a quiet comparison. For example, waking up, opening your phone, and before you've even had a chance to think about your own life, you're already looking at somebody else's. You're looking at their body, their relationship, their wealth, their confidence, their achievements. And without even saying a word, your brain starts to question. And it's not necessarily always in an angry way or a hateful way, just in a way that slowly chips away at how you yourself see yourself. Because envy rarely starts out loud. You see someone doing better than you. You see somebody who is happier than you, more loved than you, and instead of being inspired or grateful or happy for them, you feel less. You feel less special, you feel less worthy, less enough. And the worst part is most of the time, the person you envy has no idea. They're just out there living their life. But inside, in your mind, you start to keep score. Who's ahead? Who's behind? Who's winning? Who's losing? And all of a sudden, life doesn't feel like your journey anymore. It feels like a race that you never signed up for. Envy gets mixed up with hatred a lot. People think envy means hatred. But sometimes, more times than not, envy looks like supporting someone who has publicity while secretly wondering why their success didn't happen to you. Sometimes envy can look like smiling for your friend on the outside while you sort of feel this knot in your chest because you wish you were in the position they had the things they had. And I'd like to say you're not a bad person for feeling it. It is human nature. But here's the dangerous part. Envy doesn't just change how you see others. It also changes how you see yourself. Suddenly your achievements stop feeling like enough. Your progress doesn't count for anything anymore. And your blessings become invisible. Because you keep comparing your chapter 2 to somebody else's chapter 20. You compare your struggles to someone else's highlight reel to your unfiltered life. And It's just unfair to yourself to compare yourself to someone else's edited image. And you see it all the time now in social media because it's just so present today. But I think the scariest part is you start to lose your gratitude. And once you start to lose your gratitude, your joy fades with it. Things you once found exciting are no longer exciting anymore. Things you have been building up for, working towards for a long time, just don't compare anymore because you are so used to seeing things one-sided. Let's backtrack a little bit. We live in a world where comparison is built into our daily routine. Every single scroll is a reminder of what you don't have. A nice fancy car, a better body, a better lifestyle, a better relationship, whatever it may be. But what you don't see are the arguments behind the couple's photos, the anxiety behind the smiles, the insecurity behind the gym progress pics, the loneliness behind the success. You don't see the tears, you don't see the breakdowns, you don't see the sleepless nights. You just see what they want you to see, and you see the final product. And envy grows strongest in the gaps between what we think, keyword there, someone's life is, and what it actually is. Because the truth is, a lot of people living the life you envy aren't even happy living it. Crazy, right? I think a big place envy likes to creep in is in relationships. And I'd like to say envy doesn't just hurt relationships, it also hurts you as well. It steals your ability to feel proud of yourself. You could hit a milestone, achieve some big, do something incredible. And instead of feeling proud, your brain sort of goes, yeah, but someone else did it better. So no matter what you do, you never win. And eventually that starts to lead you to stop trying, because why try if it'll never be enough? And that's what envy does. It traps you in a mindset where you are always behind, you are always lacking, you are always chasing, and you're never arriving. And that is just exhausting. So where does envy even come from? I mean, envy doesn't just show up out of nowhere, right? It usually grows out of 3 different places. The first is comparison. From the time we're kids, we're measured against everyone else around us. Our grades, our looks, our popularity, our money, success. And somewhere along the way, we stop asking, am I doing better than yesterday? And start asking, am I doing better than them? And the problem with comparison is simple. There will always be somebody ahead of you. There will always be somebody who is stronger than you, richer than you, more charming, someone who seems like life was just easier for them. And if you're not careful, that truth can make you hate yourself for no reason. The second source is insecurity. Envy doesn't grow in people who feel grounded in who they are. It grows in the cracks, in the places where we already feel not enough. If you don't like your body, you'll envy people who do. If you don't feel loved, you'll envy people who are. If you don't think you matter, you'll envy anyone who feels seen. Envy is often just insecurity wearing a different mask. And then there's the third source, scarcity. This belief that there's only so much good to go around, only so much success, only so much love, only so much happiness. So when someone else wins, your brain whispers to you that should have been you. There's less good left around to go for you now. And you're falling behind, and suddenly your friend's success doesn't feel like good news, it feels like a threat. But here's the truth we oftentimes forget. Life is not musical chairs. Just because someone else finds love doesn't mean you won't. Just because someone else succeeds does not mean your path is ruined. There isn't one spotlight. There isn't one winner. But envy convinces us that there is. And when those three things combine, comparison, insecurity, and scarcity, envy becomes almost automatic. You don't even notice it happening. One scroll on social media and your mood completely drops. You feel smaller, quieter, less proud of your own life. Not because your life necessarily got worse, but because somebody else posted theirs. And what hurts the most is that envy can show up during moments when you should feel happy. Your friend tells you great news, and instead of pure joy, you feel that sting in your chest. You still love them, you're still proud of them, but there's also this quiet ache, that feeling like you lost. And then you judge yourself for feeling that way. You think, what is wrong with me? Why can't I just be happy for my friend? But I'd like to make it very clear, you're not wrong. You're not broken. You're just human. And sometimes being human is painfully complicated. And there's one other side of envy that we don't talk about much. The part where it makes you forget your own story. Because every time you look at somebody else's life, you're seeing the wins, the smiles, the vacations, the achievements. But you never, ever, ever see the bad. The panic at 2 a.m., the doubt, the grief, the mistakes. And slowly envy convinces you that your life is the only one that is messy. You start thinking that everyone else has it better off. Everyone else has it figured out except for me. Everyone else is happy, so why am I like this? And that mindset is dangerous because it steals the meaning out of your own journey. You forget how far you've come. You forget the storms you walked through. You forget the days you almost gave up, but didn't. Envy makes progress look invisible. It erases that small win, like getting out of bed on a bad day, like choosing patience when you wanted to explode, like learning from mistakes instead of repeating them. Nobody applauds those moments. They don't look impressive online, but they are so important. And sometimes the person you're envying is secretly envying you back. Maybe they wish they had your humor, your resilience, your calm, your creativity, your compassion, your strength. But you can't see it because envy keeps you staring through the wrong lens. It's like standing too close to a painting. All you notice are the flaws in the brushstrokes. But if you step back, you realize it's actually beautiful. Your life is like that. Up close, it feels chaotic, imperfect, confusing. But does that really mean it's worthless? Stay Rolly.